Friends, you can never turn your back on a potential threat, ever. Today's video is brought to us by the generosity of Firearms Legal Protection. Firearms Legal Protection is a legal defense program for lawful gun owners. You win the fight, and they will help you win the fight after the fight for the rest of your life. There's a link in the description for a coupon code for a discount for all active self-protection watchers. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson from the Times Square station in New York City. Here we're going to see a man who had a verbal altercation with a guy on the subway, and when he turns his back, bad things are coming. News story in the description says that the victim here was looking at the perp, and the perp was like, "What, you got a problem?" or whatever, and the guy tried to ignore him and just walk out here out of the subway. But we're gonna see that didn't work for him. When he decides to try to walk out, this guy decides to punch him in the face instead. Totally sucker punched him, hit him 4 or 5 times there for this perceived slight, and then when he's tired of doing that, kicks him a good one and walks off, and that's where this one ends. Boy, that was a tough one to watch. Thankfully, the man was treated at the scene and released, so he wasn't too badly injured. If you appreciate the lessons that you get here every day at Active Self-Protection, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a lesson. In this one, I want to think about verbal judo and de-escalation of conflicts. I also want to think about the difficulty of surviving a sucker punch attack like this, and talk just a little bit about the bystander effect and the fact that you are on your own in your self-defense. Talk about this all the time here, but I want to talk again about your verbal judo. You have to be able to de-escalate, escape, and evade problems like this. This guy was, he said he was looking at him. "Hey, what are you looking at? What's your problem, pal?" And the guy tried to just ignore him. Well, ignoring him is a sign of weakness, and that sign of weakness can get you attacked. Far better to go, "Hey man, my bad, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at that." Or maybe something like, "Hey, you look like somebody I went to high school with, man. Where'd you come from high school?" or something like that. At any rate, having an understanding of your predetermined course to use verbal judo to de-escalate conflicts so that these kind of things don't happen is incredibly important. Not to be able to stand there and duke it out, but to be able to avoid the conflict initially. Now, once it gets going, that sucker punch is absolutely impossible for you to see coming, or no ninja fu magic is going to keep you from being hit by that. So you got to recognize, could that be a deadly threat? Yeah, but you're not going to be able to answer it with a firearm because you won't have the presence of mind. However, emotional fitness is incredibly important to be able to weather the storm and stay present emotionally. And you learn that by getting beat up on the mats, by getting there and having people swing at you. Not by getting your bell rung 1,000 times, but by staying in the fight and keeping your head and neck covered. Now, finally, I do want to sit here and think just a little bit about, he went down on the ground at that point because he's badly hurt. Whereas what I really would rather have you do is stay on your feet, if at all possible, so that you maintain your mobility. It's pretty common for us to try to get small to prevent the attack, but that's much more difficult to defend yourself from, so you're better off there. Last thing, I want to talk about that bystander. You saw a guy just walk by. He was like, "Hey man, not my circus, not my monkeys." And I want you to think about, where is your barrier to entry? What are you going to do? When are you a bystander? When you say, "I'm not going to get involved in this," and when you say, "I have to get involved in this because what is happening so shocks my conscience that I can't not get involved." And where you do that is up to you. Where I do that is up to me. But if you don't know in advance, you will be too slow. So make sure that you know you'll only defend yourself and your loved ones, your family, or you'll defend, people that you know, or you'll defend anybody who needs it at any time. You have to know that in advance so that you know when you will act and how to cover your asp.